Alright, folks, doing a part two to part one of the Sinkable Ship, America. And after, speak what I gotta say on here, got stuff to do as always. Sometimes I think it's dangerous to be too busy, but I know it's a good thing when it's something positive and constructive, keeping you out of trouble. But man, you want a little time to play sometimes. Like, man, can I ever play? I'm always working and stuff, and y'all get the point. But anywho, sharing the second part of this, the last part on this, just making a two-part segment, is about America being the so-called unsinkable when America is indeed sinkable. Is this last part right here? Okay, like I was explaining, is that the government is the front end of the ship and the people is the back end of the ship. So I believe the back end is called a valve or the bow, the valve of the ship, and I forgot how it's broken down. The head of the ship called a valve, the back, the bow, or something like that. So by the government sinking, like the Titanic get broken half on the front, government going down, and the rest of the country has no other choice but to follow because of the head. Now, also, okay, we got all this division in the government, right? We got right wing and left wing. This is the great eagle. True. Okay, America, the symbol of this country or our American animal or the national animal is the eagle. And you got the right wing of the eagle and you got the left wing. Don't the wings have to flap simultaneously in order for the eagle to stay afloat? Because if the right wing doing what it want to do, let's create a bird. Hey, in some parts of the country like this would be somewhat considered a gang sign, but I ain't throwing a gang sign as a bird. But let's say the right wing, which okay, this one, as far as on the YouTube screen would be the right wing, cause looking at it, and it's the left wing. Okay. Now, usually when a bird want to fly, it flies like this, with the wings simultaneously flapping together, and a bird goes where it wants to go, wings simultaneously. Okay. This right here is America, the eagle. Okay. You have the right wing, which would be the Republicans. You got left wings, Democrats. You got right wing conservatives. You got left wing liberals. Okay. Now, if the wings are doing like this right here, these wings are not flying simultaneously. The wings doing what it wants to do. See, now I'm moving my hand like the wings fighting each other. So if the wings fighting each other, the eagle ain't going nowhere. See, the eagle is going from side to side. The eagle can't go in a specific direction because this wing is pulling to the right, this wing is pulling to the left. So the eagle is stuck, rocking side to side. So if the wings are not flying or flapping together simultaneously, how can the eagle goes in one specific direction if the wings are not working together? If the wings are not on one accord, how can the eagle fly in one direction? Okay, that's one analogy. So that's why the eagle is all over the place. It can't go in one position. So the eagle looks like it's going in circles, going nuts. Last but not least, the last analogy is a pilot. Okay, I don't have an airplane here, but let's use our imaginations again. Okay, I take my marker, I guess. Yeah, it's the plane. If a pilot is okay, in order for an airplane to go steady, like so, like I'm doing with my marker, both of the engines have to cooperate properly in order for the pilot to steer the plane where it wants to go. You got the right wing of the engine, the propellers going right, and you got the left wing of the engine, the propellers going left. So if the engines are not working simultaneously, what's that gonna cause the plane to do? Drop down, right? So if the engines are not working properly, or if one of the engines give out, one of the engines say, you know what, I ain't gonna work with the other engine, I ain't gonna work at all with the left wing on this plane, I ain't gonna work at all with the left engine, I'm gonna just completely shut off. So if one of the engines completely shut off, you only got one of the wings working, or one of the engines working on one wing, and the other wing, the other engine on the other wing shuts off. That's gonna cause the plane to crash correctly. So if one of the wings or one of the engines on one of the wings shuts off and you got only one working, then that means that it's gonna be hard for the pilot to steer that plane, right? It's gonna be real hard to steer that plane because you don't got one of the engines cooperate. You got the right wing, the right engine, then gave out, just completely not trying to work at all. You only got the left wing and the left engine trying to work. So that's gonna cause the plane to crash. So you basically saying, where are you going with this? If you got the Republicans not trying to help out and assist out the Democrats at all, and the Democrats doing most of the work and the Republicans pretty much sitting back, how can Obama, who is the pilot of this plane, be able to steer this country in the direction he wants it to go? Because Obama, his whole entire campaign, I'm trying to lead this country in a new direction. So how can he steer it if one of the wings gave out? Going back to the Eagle, if the right wing is shut off and you just got one wing flapping, but the right wing ain't trying to work with the left wing, the right wing just cut off, how can the Eagle stay afloat if only one wing is working? Back to the airplane. How can a plane stay afloat if one of the engines not operating, or if one of the engines not cooperating with the other one? It's not working together simultaneously. So it's hard for the Eagle to stay afloat and fly and go in direction, and it's hard for the pilot to control their plane if one of the engines shuts off because they don't want to cooperate with the other engine. So how can this country stay afloat again if both of the parties not trying to come together in unity? And how can a leader or the pilot of this country steer this country in the direction he wants it to go if one of the engines went out, one of the engines ain't acting right? You tell me. So I hope y'all continue to enjoy my video blogs and the things I present on here. A lot of people say, I always argue with this coworker, and he say, you know what, you don't do no mainstream thinking. And I'm like, you know what, they want us to do mainstream thinking, because the minute you start to think outside the box, that's when you're a threat. When JFK or most of all the Kennedys that got assassinated, Abraham Lincoln, etc., when they started to think outside the box and stop thinking mainstream, that's when they was a threat. Because when you think outside the box, you start to notice things that's behind the scenes or beneath the surface. So that's when you're a potential threat, so they're going to come and take you out. But they want us all to be mainstream because it's easy to manipulate people who are all thinking mainstream because they on the same track. They all don't want to cool it. But people who thinking outside the box are not in uniform, or they not in unison with the rest of the people. So they're going to start to catch on to other stuff that the folks in line not catching on to. But it's been a good segment here. Got to cut off, folks. But as always, peace be unto you, and Christ for life.